This matchup has one pressure point, and if the 49ers hit it early, Philly's whole plan starts to wobble. And it's the kind of movement that changes how you call a game before the ball even gets kicked. A piece just dropped right in the middle of this defense, and the response could end up rewriting the plan for Sunday. Then, out of nowhere, you get a veteran popping up like the one key you forgot you had, the one that suddenly matters. And while we're locked in on the matchup, other teams are already eyeing our building, trying to pull people out of it, on the sideline and upstairs. Sit with that for a second. How much of a playoff run is pure talent and how much is stability? If you're rocking with the faithful, go ahead and hit like. Make sure you're subscribed and toss your thoughts in the comments as we go, because I can already feel this one splitting people down the middle. Coming off that Week 18 loss to Seattle, what stings isn't just the scoreboard. It's what the game exposed. When our offense doesn't get going early, when we can't grab the rhythm and force the tempo, the whole thing tightens up. Everything. The margin shrinks. The field feels like it got shorter. And all of a sudden, every mistake actually costs you something. That's why this wildcard game against the Eagles keeps circling back to the same word: identity. Who are the 49ers when the game gets nasty? Who do we decide to be when a defense makes you play outside your comfort zone? That's where the hinge is. Christian McCaffrey can't be a side character in this story. Against the Seahawks, he got squeezed. 8 carries, 23 yards. It almost looks fake when you say it out loud, because you know what he means to this offense. Yeah, he helped in the passing game too, but it still wasn't the same. Because when our run game isn't alive, the offense gets predictable. 3rd and long starts showing up like clockwork. And that's when the pass rush starts smelling blood. That's exactly how Seattle turned the whole night into a grind we couldn't escape. And before anybody says, yeah, but Philly isn't Seattle, you're right. Philly is a strong defense, top 5 in scoring defense, no argument. But there's a lane here you can't ignore. They give up yards on the ground, middle of the pack yards per carry allowed, and they've been giving up north of 120 rushing yards per game. In January, that's not a fun little stat for trivia night. That's a direction, especially when you remember the Eagles aren't some 35 points a week track meet. They win plenty of games in the low 20s by controlling the pace, leading on field position, and just squeezing the life out of you. If we let them set the tempo, it turns into a patience test, and patience without the ball is the worst kind of football pain. So think about what a McCaffrey-centered plan really is. It's not just give him touches. It's clock control. It's protecting a defense that's been patched together. It's fewer possessions for Jalen Hurts. It's forcing Fangio to tighten the box. And then, when they finally start leading forward, that's when the play-action windows show up. That's when the intermediate throws feel cleaner. That's when one chuck play changes the entire vibe of the stadium. It all starts in the same place: the trenches, the run game, and the discipline to keep swinging even if the first few runs don't pop. And the Eagles know exactly what you're trying to do. Brandon Graham flat out mentioned stopping Christian McCaffrey as a priority. No smoke, no guessing game. They're telling you what they're worried about. So here's the question for the Niner gang. Do you trust Shanahan to lean into the physical game and stick with it, even if those early carries are 2 yards, 3 yards, dust? Or do you think he gets antsy and flips into pass-heavy mode too soon? Because while everyone's arguing over play calls and formations, there's a name sitting over the defense like a promise, and a warning at the same time: Fred Warner. Just saying it changes the mood. You can feel it. The posture changes, the belief changes, the whole temperature shifts. And that's why this has to be handled with more caution than pure emotion. Back in Week 6, when Warner went down with that ankle injury, it felt like the season got punched in the mouth. In the moment, it looked like the kind of injury you just don't come back from in time. Then, time passed, and the conversation quietly changed from will he return to when. You start hearing talk. You start seeing hope creep in, even if you try to shut it down. John Lynch talked about the way Warner's been attacking rehab, heart and soul, work ethic, every single day, trying to put himself back in the mix. Then Shanahan stepped in and cooled everybody off. He didn't say never. He admitted it could be possible later, maybe way later, but he made it clear it's not something they're counting on right now. And that's the tug of war. This defense has been stretched thin. Depth has taken hits, and losing Tatum Bethune only tightens the screws more. Warner isn't just a tackler, he's the communication hub. He's the guy who makes pre-snap chaos look organized. But rushing a return? That's scary. In the playoffs, coming back at less than full strength doesn't just look limited, it makes you a target. That's not personal. That's the NFL in January. So the truth is brutal, but it's simple. If the 49ers want even a chance to get Fred Warner back at some point, they have to win games without him first. Survive now, so maybe you're stronger later. Would you rather gamble and push it early, or do you trust this group to hold the line long enough? And while we're trying to keep all the attention locked on Sunday, there's another kind of noise building. Outside the field, outside the playbook. It starts as a whisper. Then suddenly, it's everywhere. The defensive coordinator's name. And the timing couldn't be more awkward. This season has been rough defensively. Injuries, rotation chaos, guys getting shoved into bigger roles than planned. At times, it felt like the defense was one step away from improvising on the fly. But that's also why there's league-wide interest. When teams get desperate for leadership, they start looking at the places that stayed competitive through adversity. One subtle sign that something might be moving. A change in representation. That doesn't guarantee anything, but it does suggest openness to exploring options. And in this league, being open in January can turn into real conversations in February. The 49ers can't afford distractions. Yet they also can't pretend this isn't real. If a coordinator leaves, it's not just a job title changing. It's language. It's continuity. It's the future. So I'll put it on you. Do you want stability at all costs, even if it comes with some ups and downs? Or do you believe the 49ers system is strong enough to absorb another change and keep rolling? And as if all of that wasn't enough, January always collects its fee. Because it's not just scheme, it's who can actually be on the field. The biggest question mark right now is the guy who changes the whole offense just by lining up, Trent Williams. Brock Purdy sounded confident that Williams would be back for the wildcard game. Shanahan? Much more careful. He didn't give anything definitive. Williams is still dealing with that hamstring injury from the first offensive snap against the Bears, and he missed Week 18 against Seattle. And when he didn't practice to start the week, it wasn't some planned rest day. Shanahan made it simple. He's still hurt. And you know what that means. Without Trent Williams, the run game loses force on the left side. The pocket feels tighter. Timing speeds up, whether you want it to or not. And against a Philly front that can turn pressure into chaos, that matters fast. It's not just him, either. Ricky Pearsall aggravated that PCL situation during the game, not at practice. So he's in that same we'll see territory. Dee Winters has an ankle issue. Keon White's on the list too. Then you've got guys expected to be limited. George Kittle, Yetur Gross-Matos, Luke Gifford, meaning they could be out there, but not at full capacity. And the team opened the practice window for Jacob Cowing, but Shanahan was realistic about it. Asking a guy with basically no practice time to be ready right away isn't exactly the plan. So here's the uncomfortable question nobody likes saying out loud. If Trent Williams can't go, how much does the plan change? Do you keep trying to play bully ball? Do you protect more? Do you shrink the playbook? Because in the playoffs, hiding your weakness can matter just as much as attacking theirs. When you stack it all together, the run game as a weapon, the patience required to survive without your defensive leader, the outside noise tugging at your staff, and the health math tightening by the day, this is where identity shows up. Not in a quote, not in a hype video, on 3rd and long, in the red zone, in the fourth quarter when everything hurts. So tell me this, Do you believe this team, even banged up, has the depth and the edge to walk into Philly and rewrite the script? Hit like, make sure you're subscribed, and drop your take in the comments, because this one is going to start arguments, and I want to hear exactly where the faithful stands.